Well, hello, everybody. The DUI guy is back once again with some more content for none other than you all. Raw Law Unfiltered is the name of the show. The DUI guy, that's me, is your host. And today we are going to be doing the final piece of the Amber Heard TRO deposition. Let me get my handy dandy AirPod in my ear so that we can enjoy this crazy nonsense together. Thank you to Incredibly Average once again for pumping out all this content out, first and foremost. Shout out to you, my friend. And secondly, let's get into it, shall we? This is part 4. If you have not seen the first 3 parts, by all means, go to my channel. Check them out. This is the 4th and final piece of the final bit of the day in that fateful day in 2016 when Amber Heard was deposed post TRO, post filing for divorce, pre-defamation lawsuit.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. I've been a little under the weather lately, but I feel I have enough of my voice back to get this volume out. As Jax and I roll out Amber's then best friend Raquel Pennington's 2016 deposition in live presentations,
That's
I want
probably
to put a
going to
bow
be
on
next
Amber's
on my
2016
radar.
deposition as well. As promised, I've been releasing it in volumes, combining 2 parts of our live presentations into these 4 volumes, without interruptions or commentary, so you can view them on your own from start to finish. This last volume combining parts 7 and 8. Obviously, if you enjoy the commentary and want information and context, I would encourage you to watch the live replays, which are all in playlist
Go
on my
check it
channel.
out.
For those
Sure.
following along, Discovery recently hit me with yet another copyright claim on my
Yes,
content, which
I
I don't
remember
really
that. They
outright.
hit me
I'm
too.
not sure why this keeps happening, to be honest. The most recent was volume.
Well, we know why it keeps happening, Brian. I know you don't want to say it. Maybe you're afraid of what YouTube or whatever might do to you, but YouTube has nothing to do with it. It is purely Discovery. What they did. So this is how it went down. Okay, you ready? You ready for this? You're not ready for this. So Brian gets his hands on the deposition. He releases it on his channel in pieces. Now, parts of that deposition are used in this BS movie that Discovery puts out that's basically should be renamed Amber 1. I don't know. It's literally like the most jaded, most one-sided, we didn't look at the evidence, we just want to have one last chance at like showing our PR as to why Amber should have won. Because she's a woman and believe all women, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit, right? Well, here's the thing. They copyright strike Brian, Incredibly Average, for releasing a video that he obtained of his own accord because 2 minutes, there's like a minute 30, 2-minute clip in that video that is played in their fucking movie. Tell me that's not the dumbest thing you have ever heard. Thank you, Jan Krushin. Absolutely idiotic. Absolutely idiotic. So don't be afraid, Brian. I got your back. We both got struck with the same one, and we both fought, and we both won. So fuck you, Discovery.
Volume 3, which I initially uploaded as a private video, yet they found a way to copyright claim it still. And instead of the usual claim in which viewers could still watch the video while they wrongfully take the monetization for it, this one actually blocked the video entirely from being viewable.
Yep.
Thankfully, they lifted it after just a few days, and I'm hoping this volume is fully viewable the moment I publish it. In this volume, you'll finally see Amber Heard stumble over details of the May 2016 incident, and at last be questioned about the reality that she herself was the physically abusive one in the the relationship. You'll see her dodge questions, snack while buying time to answer questions, and sometimes flat out smile while listening to audio of her admitting to punching Johnny Depp in the face. So without further ado, I want to thank you all again for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell for new content if you'd be so kind. And here we go with Volume 4.
This marks the beginning of media number 4 in the video deposition of Amber Depp. The time is approximately 5:30 p.m. And we'll
She's
pass
like,
it over.
"Meh."
Ms. Hurd, you were discussing your claims that Johnny Depp threw a phone on May 21, 2016, and thereafter grabbed your hair.
Oh, by the way, the whole phone incident. So remember, I went to the Eastern Columbia building, and I was up on the roof with Amy Goodhart. The allegation that Amber said, I know this is a different phone, but this reminded me. When she said, Johnny threw the phone out the window or whatever, and then I threw his. See, if I can draw a picture for you, the penthouses are inside think of it as a castle. Think of it as a little bit of like a castle. You have the penthouse, and then you have like a garden with a raised pavilion, with a raised wall outside the windows of the penthouses. So it's like penthouse, right? And then you have like all this area around the penthouses with a raised wall, and then you have the outside. So in order for you can't just like throw the phone out or whatever. You had to here, I'm going to use this. You had to chuck it. Like it had to be one of those swings in order to be able to get it all the way out. You had to chuck it real hard. You had to have a really good throwing arm. Otherwise, the phone would have not gone anywhere. It would have just landed right outside the window of the penthouse, and you just go and pick it up and go, there's my phone. Thank you, Alexander. So it's complete horseshit, by the way, that her phone was lost. We all know by now it was just her excuse as to why she didn't want to turn her phone over, because it had too much incriminating shit and it would have buried her. So she just created the story and rolled with it. At the end of the day, it's actually a smart move. It's a smart move. Like, if you don't want to get caught, pretend that the evidence is destroyed. It's a smart move. I can't discount. I'm going to call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? But did it really happen? No, doesn't sound like it. Very, very unlikely.
Yes, I just wanted to reorient you to where we left off.
Thank you.
Prior to you saying Mr. Depp doing that on May 21, 2016, had you ever discussed with Io Tillett Wright anything or made any claim to her that you'd been abused by Johnny Depp?
I talked to her about a little bit of the violence, yeah.
You'd specifically told her about violence?
Yeah.
And your other friend, Elizabeth Mars, had you ever discussed with her prior to May 21 that there had been violence between you and Johnny?
I don't think so.
And
I don't remember ever
okay.
speaking to her about that.
Okay, and how about any other person? Did you tell any other person other than your mother prior to May 21 that Johnny had been violent with you?
Yes.
Who?
Well, Raquel Pennington's fiance, Josh, had been in the room when I would either come over or when...
Notice how she starts answering like every question. Her eyes are like darting all over the room, like trying to keep track of everything. It doesn't even come off authentic. Like, I don't know. You be the judge.
Either I would go over to theirs or they would come over to mine immediately.
So you told Josh.
Immediately preceding an incident, and I would still be bloody or bruised, or they would overhear, or they would, you know.
Did you tell Josh that that Johnny had been physically violent with you?
I think Josh was in the room when Raquel and I would be talking about it, or Josh would walk in with Raquel immediately after an incident had occurred where it was clear.
Objection, move to strike. It's a yes or no question.
Oh,
Did you ever tell Josh,
I love
Drew,
it.
prior to May 21, that Johnny had been violent with you physically?
I didn't have to tell Josh. Josh saw.
The answer is no, correct? You had
Wait.
never told him prior to May 21.
Argumentative.
Correct.
Let her answer the question.
Is that
Listen to the question and answer that question.
I don't recall specific times of telling Josh specifically.
okay? Any other person that you specifically claimed Johnny had been violent?
What the lawyer is trying to do, the lawyer is trying to pin her down to her story so she can't later be like, oh yeah, I also told that person, sorry, I forgot to tell you that. Because now you come off as a liar, and you actually can, in theory and in practice, be charged with perjury, okay? That's what Claire is doing. She is pinning Amber. Tell me everyone. Okay, I got it. Mom. All right, anybody else? No? Okay, Josh? No, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Who else? Tell me anybody else. Did you tell anybody else? Who else did you tell? You see, she's trying to like box her in, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. That's how you do a deposition. Did I say Claire? I meant Blair. Sorry. It's been a while. I meant Claire. I meant Blair. Claire, Blair, the Claire Witch Project. Okay, just leave me alone. Leave me alone, chat. Let's get through this.
Violent with you prior to May 21?
Yes.
Who?
Melanie.
Melanie Iglesias? Okay, who else?
But I didn't have to tell her much. Melanie walked in once.
Did you tell her anything?
I don't remember what I told Melanie, but Melanie helped clean up blood and hair.
When was that?
December.
Melanie. I don't think Melanie ever
actually
testified.
covered, my bruises for an appearance I had following an incident
she?
where I
I
had
don't
two
think she
black
did.
eyes and a busted nose and a busted lip, and she covered the busted lip. My hairstylist had twice, on two different occasions, covered up bruises and or missing chunks of
Did you
missing
tell
hair.
your hairstylist?
I did not.
Did you tell any other person your claim that Johnny had been violent prior to May 21?
Just
I'm-
think.
And that also, by the way, that also helps to pin her story down, because usually people who are abused, I mean, they tell everybody about it. You don't just kind of keep it to yourself for the most part. You know, people like to share their stories genuinely, just kind of tell in confidence, like, look, don't tell anybody, but this happened to me. That's how you can get like unbiased corroborating witnesses to tell your story and make you look more believable. And she can't even pass muster doing that.
Take it slowly. She's asking for a narrative, so think about it.
No, I'm asking for a yes or no answer.
That's-
Ms.
I like how
Hogan.
her lawyer is trying to like change Blair's question. I mean, that's pretty cute. That's pretty cute.
Prior to May 21, did you tell any other person besides your mom and besides, I think you said Raquel, did you tell Raquel prior to May 21 that you were claiming that Johnny had been violent with you? Any other person other than your mom, Raquel, and Melanie Iglesias? Did you tell Melanie Iglesias?
I don't recall having to tell her. I don't recall to what extent, but yes.
You did tell her.
Yeah, she
Okay.
saw. So I didn't really have to
What-
explain.
Okay, whether or not she saw,
Oh
did
my
you ever
God.
tell her?
Dodging the question.
I confirmed.
Meaning you spoke words to her about Johnny having been violent with you?
I swear to
I
God.
confirmed what she could
She can't even
deduce.
keep her own
How
fucking
did you
story
confirm it?
straight.
By crying and not denying what she said she realized is going on.
So
in my
isn't it the
relationship.
truth you never used any words to describe any claim that Johnny had been violent with you with this woman?
That's
No.
wait, stop. That is misstating her testimony, Blair, and it's argumentative and it's harassing. Ask your question and give her some space to answer your question.
Ms. Hurd,
You're
in-
you're asking her to go back in time and recall things, and she needs a moment to do that. And I know you want to rush through this, but she needs a moment to think about these things.
No, she needs a moment to
Did
make up
you
a story.
use words to tell any other person that Johnny Depp had ever been violent with you prior to May 21, 2016?
Yes.
Who?
Among the other people I've listed, I
She's trying so
confirmed
hard.
it to my dad, who saw a picture of my face on my mom's cell phone.
When did he see that picture?
December.
December 2015?
Yes.
Okay. And you told him that Johnny had been violent with you?
It was the first time I ever admitted that to my father. And I used the words, Johnny beat the shit out of me. And I never heard myself admit that to my dad before.
You told your father in December of 2015 that Johnny beat the shit out of you.
He called livid on the way he was getting in this truck to come to LA because he saw pictures on my mom's phone.
If that really happened, I remember one of the things that we read in the briefs is that her lawyers are trying to argue that the text message to the dad, not from the dad, to the dad, should have been admitted. Clear hearsay. Bring the dad in. He'll testify as to what she said or didn't say. Her own father would not even come in and confirm that this is what happened. Your own flesh and blood, the closest kin that you have, other than your sister, would not come into the courtroom and confirm what you're claiming happened to you. I mean, that's, doesn't get much lower than that, folks. Doesn't get much lower than that. Jazz Dimitri says, seriously, what is up with this lawyer? I know it's his job, but he's acting like a mother with a 3-year-old. I mean, that's because that's what he's got. That's what he's dealing with. Hi, Zinni. She's like wild tonight. I don't know what's gotten into her, but she's been running around like a crazy cat. Like, she's now looking at me like, Daddy, are we going to play? Like, are you going to help me get this energy out of? I'm like, maybe I'm busy. I'm so sorry. I got to do this. Oh my God. She's like all over the place tonight. Look at this cat. Oh, never mind. She just scared herself. I swear she does things and like just scares herself and come here. Come here. Oh my God. There she is. Hi. Say hi, Chad. Hi, Chad. Mwah. Such a pretty kitty. People always compliment her on her her fur pattern. Isn't it beautiful? She's just so sweet. Oh, now she's pretending like she's gonna go to sleep. Yeah, right. Liar. Liar. You smell so good. God, I love this girl. All right. Jan Krushen says, appreciate you so much. I'm a dog person, not cat, but you can buy Zinnia some treats. Your laugh makes everyone smile. Please shut Amber Heard's lawyer up. I will try. I will try, Jan. Thank you so much. Zinnia, did you hear that? You're getting treats. You're getting treats. We're going to buy you some treats. Going to buy her some treats. All right. Back to the video.
Did you tell your
It's a
father?
yes or no question. You answer yes or no.
Yes, I did.
You did. Okay. Did you tell any other person or claim to any other person that Johnny had been violent with you prior to May 21?
Yes.
Who?
Amanda de Cadenet, after she asked me.
When did she ask you?
She asked me on several occasions.
When was the last time prior to May that she asked you?
I can't remember a specific date that she asked me, but I certainly confirmed it at her birthday party when she caught me trying to put makeup over my bruises.
Ms. Heard, on May 21, as a result of you saying that Johnny threw a cell phone at you, did that cell phone make contact with you at any time?
Yes, it
Where did it make contact with you specifically?
on my face.
Where on your face specifically?
What felt like my eye, around my eye.
Can you point to where it made contact as you sit here today?
It felt like right around the side of my. It felt like the side of my face and cheek. Felt like my side of my face and cheek. But in being pulled around by my hair, I somehow incurred some bruising on my body, and my
She's
head
focused on this part. That
Oh,
was the question. Listen
sorry.
to the question.
Where did you incur contact with the phone you say Johnny threw at you?
Asked and answered.
Can you point to the place on your face where you were saying the phone hit you?
It felt like the side of my right side of my face, around my eye.
It
Do you
felt
not have a
like.
specific memory
Are
of
you
where it
joking?
hit you?
Objection. She just said it.
I'm pointing to a specific part of my face.
Okay. What part of the phone hit your face?
I don't know.
Okay.
I kind of
Seriously?
had a hard time viewing the phone as it was being hurled at me.
Okay. Can you point specifically on your face as to where the phone made contact with you?
Again,
Yes.
Asked and answered for the third or fourth time.
Make the record reflect that the witness has repeatedly, not touching her face,
I can
motioned
touch my face.
around the right side of her face and her eye.
This is
There
that
you
not,
go. There you
She's
go, Blair.
pointed
I'm
to
not actually touching
the
it.
side of her eye, the
I'm
right
I'm
side of her
pointing
right
with five
eye.
fingers even.
Is the area that you are saying that you are circling the area you claim that the phone hit?
I'm touching with 5 fingers. I'm pointing with 5 fingers the area that it felt like I was impacted.
Wow. Okay. For the love of God, she can't even pinpoint the exact location. When was the last time that you, as a human being, if you have ever had anything in contact with your body, especially your face, not have gone, oh yeah, it hit me right here. Like that's where it hurt the most, right here. Or do you always go, well, it hurts somewhere in this general vicinity of the 5-finger direction that I'm pointing at? Like when your friend asks you, like, where did it hit you? Like right here, or right here, or right here. You know, that's what we do as human beings. The fact that she can't even be like, it's somewhere in the general area of where my 5 fingers are, as you can see, it hit me somewhere in right around here, right around here. Come on, just fucking say it. Unless you're lying, in which case you can't say it, can you? Lean on me always. I have 3 indoor kitties, she says. We rescued, and 1 outdoor feral we recently discovered belonged to no one, but now is ours. Nice, good for you.
And as a result of that impact, did you seek medical
Thank you,
treatment?
Viking.
After May 21st, no.
At any time after May 21st, did you seek consultation with any doctor or other medical professional?
No.
Isn't it true that you've never at
Oh,
any
that was a whelp face. Did you catch that? Did you catch that little? I never went to go see a medical professional over that. Check it out.
isn't it true that
Right there, right there. That little trying to capture it.
as a result of that impact,
Felt
Right.
like I was impacted.
and
I
as a
felt like I was
result of
impacted.
that impact, did you seek medical treatment?
After May 21st, no.
At any time after May 21st, did you seek consultation with any doctor or other medical professional?
No.
Isn't it true that
Right there, that face. That's what I wanted to capture. It's the shit. This is going to be hard to prove, right? That's the accidental subconscious Freudian slip that the human body, no matter how much we lie, our bodies sometimes give us away. And this is her realization. You can see her eyes kind of staring into the abyss going, this is gonna be tough one. This is gonna be a tough one. It's just that split moment where she's realizing, man, I should have gone. But here's the problem. There was nothing to go seek medical treatment over because more than likely it never happened, as we know now.
you've never at any time sought medical treatment with a doctor after any of these times you claim Johnny was violent with you?
Objection calls for a narrative. Compound.
That's
Vague and
not
ambiguous.
compound. That's a direct
Not
question.
true.
When have you sought medical treatment for the claims you're making related to domestic violence with Johnny Depp? If ever. Yes.
In December, I sought medical treatment.
Where did you seek
Twice,
medical treatment?
actually. Once on the
You're interrupting her, Blair.
December, I think it was 16th, right after the incident. As it was likely, I had a concussion because I wasn't quite sure how the night ended. I had been punched repeatedly in the back of the head, and I was bleeding from my lip. Felt like my nose was broken, and
Felt like my nose was broken. There it is. How can you feel like your nose is broken? Either it is or it is not. This goes back 2,500 years into philosophy. I said this the other day. Ancient Greeks even knew this shit. Estin euk estin. Either a thing is or it is not. Estin euk estin. Either a thing is or it is not. You can't have both the existence. It's like Schrodinger's cat. It can't be both. It can't be both dead and alive. It is hypothetically could be if the box is sealed and no one has looked into it. So the cat is both dead and alive at the same time. So is Amber's nose Schrodinger's cat? Schrodinger's nose now? Is that what we got going on, Amber? My nose is broken and it is not broken simultaneously. I don't know, but it felt like it was. How do you not know? And a broken nose, do you know how much swelling is going to surround the area? Have you ever seen like a true broken nose? Even a small fracture, you're going to have bruising, you're going to have swelling, you're going to have severe pain. You're talking about bone. Julie Gibson says, why did anyone believe her, Larry? She's a damn caricature of a human being. My love to Zinnia. I don't know. I don't know. I guess because she's a woman, maybe at the time they were like riding the coattails of the Me Too movement. Yeah, it was kind of broken. How? It's not possible. It's not humanly possible. Esten euk esten.
Did you see? What doctor did you see?
I'm trying to answer you as
Okay.
best I can. If you'd please allow me to.
Of course.
Argumentative.
My friend Raquel got on the phone and asked a private nurse because it was late.
Who was the private nurse?
Her name is Erin Borum.
Okay. Did she work for Johnny Depp?
Yes. No, she does not work for Johnny Depp.
Did she work for you?
No. she
Had
does
you
not.
ever had any
she worked-
contact with her as a nurse prior to that occasion?
Yes.
When?
For the year or two prior.
Okay. So you'd had a 2-year relationship with this nurse.
She has had a relationship with both Johnny and I, and works for works for our doctor, Dr. Kipper.
And she specifically treated you prior
Hey, welcome.
to this December incident in 2015 for the year before, you say?
What are you asking me exactly?
Had she had an interaction or relationship with you as a medical professional prior to December of 2000?
Exactly, Pixie Doll. I've had my nose broken. They had to do x-rays. Where are her x-rays? Actually, your typo is very on point. When you don't have an x-ray, you know what you have? You have an x-rat. Your typo is actually a very perfectly timed Freudian slip as well. That's an x-rat. That's a current rat. But it's an x-rat because it was 6 years ago.
2015.
Asked and
Yeah.
answered.
Yes.
And isn't that true that she had that relationship because she was advising you and helping you with a drug issue?
No. that
She
is
never
not-
discussed a drug issue or
Wait.
helped you.
Vague and ambiguous as to the term drug issue.
Did she ever assist you or have a relationship with you regarding any drug-related matters connected with your personal health?
Vague regarding drug-related matters.
If you mean illegal drug, no.
How about prescription drugs?
Yes, as she's a nurse who works for my doctor, and she was traveling as Johnny's backup 24-hour nurse for his sobriety issues and his detox
You okay,
post
Pixie?
his opiate detox.
When you,
And so she was around
when you claim you sought medical treatment in December 2015,
twice.
did you go to a hospital?
The second time I sought medical advice, it was in my doctor's office because the headaches wouldn't go away, and I was worried I had some sort of low-grade concussion, if there is such a thing. And I'm not a medical professional.
What the hell
Did you
is
tell your
wait? What the fuck is a low-grade concussion? That's not a medical term. Hold on. I gotta Google this. Low-grade concussion. Low-grade, mid-grade. In grade 1 concussion, you can experience headache, difficulty focusing, memory loss. Okay, so it is something that she looked up prior to the deposition. So she knows that there's a. How do you get a low-grade concussion like from that? What? I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't do medical malpractice law. Approximately 80% of concussions resolve over 7 to 14 days. Low grade, mild. I've heard of mild concussion, but low grade? All right. She's done her research.
That Johnny Depp had committed domestic violence against you?
Wait, that's a privilege with a doctor,
Oh, okay.
so don't answer.
Did you you said you sought treatment for the domestic violence from the doctor, correct?
Wait.
That was worded.
Okay.
I sought medical treatment because of the injuries inflicted on my head and the lasting pain I was having from them following Johnny punching me repeatedly in the back of the head, among other things. I went to a doctor's office and sought treatment based on those injuries.
And did you feel it was important to share what those injuries were?
At the time, I felt it more important to protect the privacy of myself and Johnny, and was worried about the
Privacy?
repercussions that could befall him.
Okay.
Oh, so you were so concerned with his reputation that 2 years later you wrote an op-ed defaming the shit out of him. That's how concerned you were. You were so concerned to keep it under wraps, you went full on fucking full public blast on it. Yeah. Okay.
Did you ever at any time request medical records from this doctor for purposes of these proceedings?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you provide those records here today?
I didn't bring anything with me today. I did not.
Did you provide them at any time prior to any other human being?
Other than, you can't answer as to counsel, and obviously,
That's not true, but
excuse me, we brought a stack of documents. We've asked about 7 times that she be allowed to take a look at them, and she's never been allowed to take a look at them.
And there's not a single medical record in there.
Okay, well then there's your answers to that
Then-
question. So why are you asking?
because the witness just testified that she provided medical records.
I didn't.
So-
I didn't hear her say that. You keep.
Did you obtain medical records in
I
relation
obtained
to
them,
this case?
yes.
Okay. After you obtained them, what did you do with them?
Don't divulge any communications with lawyers.
Okay.
What is the doctor you are referring to when
Kill
you
me
claim
now,
you went
please.
to a doctor for injuries suffered from violence by Johnny Depp?
It's been asked and answered.
What is the name of the doctor?
Asked and answered.
I'm sorry?
It wasn't answered.
Yeah.
It was. She said it.
Really?
No.
Yeah, you want
Could
to
you-
listen.
Well, I said Erin was, but that was, she was the one who did the initial
He
midnight
just wants to
concussion
butt
check.
in
Aaron's
like
not a doctor,
every.
correct?
No, she's a nurse. She said
Stop
medical
being
professional.
argument.
Okay, wait a minute.
Exactly.
Okay, it is.
Christ, they're all talking over each other.
I've asked all day that you speak one at a time, and I gave you guys to speak one at a time.
She can go as fast as she wants.
Okay.
You shouldn't.
Okay. So,
What is the name of the doctor?
can I answer that?
Mhm.
Okay. Dr. Monroe.
What's his first
Uh-huh.
name? Do you know?
I just know him as Dr. Monroe.
Does he practice in Los Angeles?
Yes.
Where?
I don't know his exact address.
In Beverly Hills?
Yes.
And in terms of what you claim happened after the time you say Johnny Depp threw the phone to the time Johnny Depp left and you didn't see him anymore, your testimony is he hit you again
Vague.
after the phone hit you? Are you claiming that Johnny hit you?
Did he just say babe? Wait, no. I think I'm mishearing. There's no way.
Your testimony is he hit you again
Vague.
after the phone hit you?
I heard bae or babe. Am I hallucinating, fam? The fuck? No. One more time. Hold on. Let me get the other headphone in there.
Depp left and you didn't see him anymore, your testimony is he hit you again
Vague.
after the
Vague.
phone hit
Yeah.
you?
It's vague.
Are you claiming
Okay.
that Johnny hit you?
Vague?
Are you asking on another incident?
It's
or
vague. It's
specific?
No,
vague.
May
It's vague.
21.
But you don't just say like vague. Objection, vague. Objection, vague. You don't just like interject vague, ambiguous, compound. You're supposed to state what it is. You're not just like this is a court proceeding. It's a deposition. You're not on the bleachers like, hey, rooting for your soccer team. Vague. No, that's not what you're doing here. Objection, vague. That's the proper objection, not meh.
As I said as I said to you before, I was sitting on the couch with my legs crossed, and my head was down in my hand. I was crying and screaming. It hit me. So the impact of his hand, I don't know if it was to grab me by the hair to get me up off the couch, or if it was just an impact into it in and of itself, but it impacted me nonetheless. Next thing I know, he has me by the hair, and he is taunting me about not being able to see. Let me see your face. Let me see your eyes. Let me see you really hurt this time.
Objection, move to strike, non-responsive. Did he hit you after the time you say he threw the phone at your face?
I oppose that motion to strike.
I just answered you that I couldn't tell if it was a hit or not. My hands were in my hands.
Okay, so you don't
crying,
know.
and the impact of him and an appendage of his hit me with force.
Okay. You claim that after he hit you with the phone, he broke a magnum of wine on the floor of the apartment where you were?
I don't know if he smashed it on the floor or if he just threw it on the floor and it didn't smash.
There was broken glass on the floor?
Yes, he broke a lot of glass things that left glass on the floor.
And that was where you were, around the sofa and around the stairs in the living room?
On his way out, which is more in the kitchen.
Okay, in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm, because
was there any broken glass? I'm sorry.
Slower, please.
Sorry.
Are you claiming there was any broken glass anywhere else on the first floor of Penthouse 5 other than the kitchen?
I don't know. No, I don't remember.
Do you remember whether you're claiming that there was any wine on the floor of the Penthouse 5 after you say he hit you with the phone?
Yes.
And the wine was spilled and visible?
Yes.
Okay. And were there any other broken objects scattered on the floor of Penthouse 5 after you say he hit you with the phone?
Yes.
What were they?
These huge, heavy silver candlesticks, candelabra sticks. Those were on the floor, broken. Baskets of fruit that we had on the kitchen island. There are fruit everywhere, baskets on the ground.
Yes, Becky, let's go full sovereign citizen. Subject matter jurisdiction. Objection, you have no right to depose me. I am not a person. Objection, I have no driver's license because I am traveling, not driving. Objection, you don't have jurisdiction over me because the FBI still has my birth certificate and they owe me $400,000. Sounds like something Amber would do. Grounds, objection grounds.
Around the containers holding the spoons and fork, kitchen utensils, those were spilled. Things that were on a lamp, a little statue thing, among other things.
And your testimony is that after he had done these things, Raquel Pennington came into the apartment, correct?
Yes, but I do not recall if how much of what I just described has been broken. I don't know how much of that had been done before Raquel walked in, because I know he did a lot of it on his way out.
Okay. Had any of it been done by the time that Jerry, his security person, and Sean, his security person, came into the apartment?
Vague.
On May 21.
Like I said, I can't remember if or how much
So
of it had
improper.
been done by the time Raquel
I
entered.
can't stand it.
And Raquel entered before Jerry.
Okay. At the point that Jerry Judge and Sean Bett were in the apartment, do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And your claim in your declaration is that Johnny was still screaming, correct?
Yes.
And Johnny
Yes.
was throwing things, correct?
Are you on a line and page? Are you-
No, I'm just remembering what is said.
Okay, just
I want
focus.
to.
I am focused.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm just in the
I like how they're like fighting amongst themselves. He's just like, where are, I don't even know where you are, Blair. Like, you are doing too good of a job. I need to make sure that I'm throwing you off. Where are you? Like, what page are you on? What line are you on? I'm not. I'm doing this from memory. Oh, fuck. Make sure you're focused, Amber. I am focused. The fuck do you want from me? Like, I'm good, bro. Just let me do my thing. Let me get my lies out. We're all good.
Could tell us
I would love to.
when Jerry Judge and Sean Betts were in the condo, is it your testimony that Johnny was still screaming?
Yes.
Is it your testimony that Johnny broke things in the presence of Sean Betts and Jerry Judge?
I believe so.
And he broke wine bottles?
I don't know to what I don't know what things he broke in front of them or what happened next. I am on the couch crying, being covered by my best friend after having this happen to me. So I have limited ability to tell you what exactly was broken when Jerry or Sean's eyes are pointed in any specific direction.
And you're claiming that Sean Betts and Jerry Judge stood there and did nothing, though, while this was happening, correct?
They weren't there the whole time.
During the period they were there, your claim is that they did nothing, correct?
They walked in and most of it had been done. He had already charged at me, to which Raquel threw herself in between us, put her arms up, protect us. He'd already pushed Raquel's arms away, intimidated her. We're both back down on the couch. He's protecting me and he's screaming at me at the top of his lungs, which is what I can only guess served as the impetus to get Jerry Judge and Sean into the room. While he's screaming,
Serve
at
his
me, I'm looking
impetus.
down, and he's screaming
Very
at me, taking a
technical
step
terms.
closer and screaming louder each time. Get the fuck up, Amber. Get the fuck up. Get the fuck up. Amber, you hear me? Get the fuck up. And I can only imagine, because it was so loud towards the end, that they came in. So I can't tell you the exact moment. Was it at the third threat or the 10th threat when they walked in? But at some point they walked in, and he turned his head, and I hopped up off the couch, ran to the side corner of the room, and said, "Jerry, help me! If he hits me one more time, I will call the police."
But you'd already asked to call 911 by that point, correct?
I didn't know if
Somebody
I
please
was
turn
on
that
the
damn
phone when I
cell
was
phone off.
screaming.
Jesus.
Objection, non-responsive, move to strike. You had already asked to call 911 by the time you say Jerry Judge was there, correct?
That's incorrect, because that's to assume that I knew somebody. I had somebody to whom I could ask to call.
Did you ask to call 911 prior to when Jerry Judge
I
was in
didn't
the
know
apartment?
any.
Vague and ambiguous.
Prior to when Jerry Judge was in the apartment on May 21, 2016.
There you go.
Vague
There's
and
some more
ambiguous.
appropriate attention that you
What are you
wanted to see.
asking?
Asked and answered.
Had you asked to call 911 prior to this time you were describing when you say Sean Bett and Jerry Judge came in the room?
Vague and ambiguous.
No.
Asked and answered.
No.
I yelled, "Call 911." Asking implies there was someone to whom I could ask this question. And as I
You're
have
not the
stated
lawyer here,
before,
Amber.
I didn't know if anyone was on the line.
You never asked either of these
Look
security
at how
individuals to call.
look at how like snarky she is. This is asking what I no. Like, are you joking? What? Look at this again.
Call 911. Asking implies there was someone to whom I could ask this question. And as I have stated before to you, I didn't know if anyone was on the line.
Look at how smart I am. Look at that little smirk. Let me lawyer you, lawyer lady. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to show you I am so smart. I can almost feel the pixie dust rolling off my shoulders. Is this for real? Like, you are alleging some heinous acts that have been done towards you, and instead you're like, bitch, battle of the wits, let's go. Oh, you want to fight lawyer speak? I can lawyer speak your lawyer speak. That's not what victims do. That's not what victims do. That's not how victims act. That's very unvictim-like. Yeah, beautifully damaged. I think you have it, like, you hit the nail right on the head. She never thought that she was going to be challenged or that Johnny would stand up for himself. Lies, lies, lies. Yeah, Pixie. Car DVRO says, lawyer, don't keep touching her. She has PTSD. Exactly. And she's like not reacting to that. She's just like, okay. Sweet Pea says, do you think she might have slept with her attorney? I mean, that's a very, very difficult question. We don't have any proof. And just because they're kind of like buddy-buddy like that, I mean, it just kind of more shows her slutty nature more than anything, that she is more like, that she's more flamboyant and like open with her sexuality, which we already know. And this video just kind of reconfirms that. But do I think that they had sexual relations is an extreme stretch. Because God forbid they did, I don't know, this dude would probably not sleep for the rest of his life, because any moment she can come to the press and be like, he sexually assaulted me too, you know? No, I don't think so. It's too much of a risk for the lawyer. It's not worth it. Even if she coaxed him or something, I don't think he would have done it. I think that's a little too much. Do you really think, do you think she really slept with the Aquaman director to blackmail him and keep her role? I don't know anything about that, so I cannot say with confidence and with knowledge, yay or nay. But for his sake, for both of their sakes, actually, I hope she didn't.
You never asked either of these security individuals to call 911. Isn't that true?
I don't think I asked them to call 911. I threatened to call 911 if Jerry stood by and let him hit me one more time.
You threatened that in front of Jerry Judge and Sean Bett to call 911.
No, I threatened to call the police if he hit me again, and if they let him hit me again.
In front of Jerry Judge and Sean Bett.
To Jerry Judge.
And in front of Raquel.
Yeah. I said, Jerry, if he hits me one more time, I said, Jerry, help me or whatever. If he hits me, or he's hit me, and if he hits me one more time, Jerry, I'm going to call 911 or I'm going to call the police, because what else am I going to do?
And by that time, you were already injured, correct?
Yes.
Your face had been hit by the cell phone.
It had just been hit.
Okay. And there was a mark on your face?
How would I know?
Well, did you learn there was a mark on your face later that evening?
Marks develop.
Did you see a mark on your face later in the evening?
Yes.
When later?
I don't know when the exact time I looked in a mirror. It's the first time.
Okay. After Johnny had left or before?
Oh, Johnny left right not too long after that. In fact, they told him, we got to get out of here. He smashed some things on the way out. I know that for sure.
After or before is the question. Focus on the question.
Okay. Can you repeat the question?
She's losing track of her lies. She even has to have her lawyer correct her. Like, wait, no, hold on. You're getting lost in the weeds, honey. Re-ask the question. I'm sorry, I have no idea what you just asked me. Wow. Very snarky. I agree, Viking. I absolutely agree. Wow.
Know that there was a mark on your face that was visible, that you could see any indication that you had any injury or marks on your face on May 21.
Asked and answered.
Are you not willing to tell me?
You can answer, but you've already answered. I mean, you.
Again,
here's
I
the
don't
problem.
know.
You keep switching the question. So you ask one question, and then you switch the question around and to something that she's already said. So go ahead, Amber. Say what the answer is.
I don't know exactly what time it was that I was able to look in the mirror and see the damage on my face, but I do know that it felt bad. It felt puffy and sore.
This is the final piece.
Puffy and sore
thank
before
goodness.
the police arrived, correct?
It hurt immediately.
Okay. And your claim is that there were marks on your face prior to the police arriving, correct?
I don't know if there were marks on my face or how puffy
How
or
do
how
you
red.
not know? Isn't like the natural instinct when like something happens to you, and you're like, oh my God, the first thing, what do you do? What's the first thing you do when you, especially a woman, that looks are very, very important to women, right? Men can still be like, it kind of hurts a little. I don't know. I'll be all right. You know, women will be like, oh my God, it's my face that everyone can see. I need to make sure what is on it. Like, is it okay? That's just a normal, natural reaction for most people. And especially, I think most women, for especially like her, for whom looks are something that is important. Her image to the public, being a celebrity, anything to do with anything in this area, she's going to want to know. And she doesn't even look. That's how little she cares. Oh, no, no, huge red flag, huge. Objection, disagree. Objection, liar, liar, pants on fire. Whew. Amber. Kim Snotty says, why do you suppose he was advised to not initially fight it? He was advised to fight it. He just was advised not to speak out about it, let the facts come into the record, because then it would just turn into a shitstorm in the public eye. And that's not where you don't want to fight it in the public arena before her testimony and before the lies were unearthed. Why do you think no jurors have come forward? Well, first of all, if we're going to hear from jurors, it's probably going to be May, because there's not like a gag order, but there's basically a gag order that jurors are not to be contacted by the public. Jurors can come forward, but nobody can reach out to the jurors. Great question, by the way. Pixie Doll says she doesn't have a Me Too. She has too busy causing... She's too busy causing them. That's funny. Yeah, you're not wrong. Johnny says, Joni, I think it's Joni. Joni says, my brother sits in Florida prison because of a girl like this, 12 years into 35-year sentence. 12 years into a 35-year sentence. Wish I knew then what I know now. I've learned a lot from YouTube lawyers. Oh, that is heavy, Johnny, Joni, Joannie, Johnny, Joni, Joni. Just gonna go with Joni. That's heavy. That's really heavy. I'm really sorry about your brother.
Looked because I probably didn't spend any time looking in a mirror immediately after.
Is it your testimony that there was in Penthouse 5 bottles broken, correct?
In Penthouse 5?
Yes.
Yeah, Penthouse 5 was destroyed.
Destroyed. Glass on the floor?
Yes.
Wine spilled?
Yes. In the hallway as well.
Clear signs that there was damage and
pictures of it.
vandalism in Penthouse 5, downstairs.
There was clear damage done downstairs in Penthouse 5.
And you believed you had clearly been assaulted by Johnny Depp, correct?
Are you asking me if I believe I had been assaulted by Johnny?
Yes.
Yes.
You believed he intentionally threw a cell phone that had hit you in the face and committed domestic violence. Is that true?
I can't know what his intentions were.
Did you believe at that time, prior to the police arriving, that he intended that you be hit with that cell phone?
I believe that he threw the cell phone at me and directly, and he was very close to me, and he had great aim.
Isn't it true, Ms. Hurd, that the Los Angeles Police Department, Officers Saines and Haddon, arrived later that evening and spoke directly with you?
I don't know if they're the first set of officers. I don't know the first set of officers' names.
There were two sets of officers that spoke directly with you, correct?
The second set were further away from me, and they didn't speak to me alone in any real way. By that time, another hour had passed, and things had calmed down and been cleaned up a bit, and so
So you spoke
don't
with
remember.
two separate sets of officers directly about what had happened, correct?
I spoke to one set of officers very directly, face to face. The second set of officers, I don't remember if I even got up off the couch and spent much time with them. I remember the interaction to be brief.
Isn't it true that when the first set of officers arrived, there was one bald officer and one female officer, correct?
I vaguely remember. I know that it was at least, one woman and one man.
And isn't it true that when those officers communicated with you, they asked you what happened?
Yes, it is true.
And at no time did you ever tell them anything related to your claims that you've made today
Vague-
about anything that had happened on May 21, 2016?
Vague and ambiguous.
What do you mean?
You never made any claim to the police on the evening of May 21, 2016, that Johnny Depp had been violent with you in any way.
I can tell you what I said to them.
Tell me.
I said I declined to give a statement at this time, at the advice of my counsel.
Did you make any other statements to them?
They asked me if he was still here, and I said no. And then they insisted on. They said, "Is this where it happened?" And then I said, "Well, yes."
Where what happened?
They said, "Is this where it happened?"
What happened?
The incident for which they were responding.
Did you ever at any time describe any incident with your husband?
Again, all I said to them was, I declined to give a statement at this time, as per my advice of my counsel.
Isn't it true, Ms. Hurd,
Wow.
that the officers
Absolutely,
responding,
wow.
the first set of officers, specifically asked you if the person that had been with you at the time, your husband, had assaulted or hit you in any way?
Are you asking me if they asked me specifically, had I been hit?
Yes.
I don't remember them asking me, have you been hit?
Did they ask you, had there been any contact between you and your husband that was physical?
I do not remember them asking me, but I do not think that they asked me that question.
Isn't it a fact that you were speaking and looking directly at the officers as they were talking to you on the evening of May 21, 2016?
I spoke to them very briefly, to which I did have eye contact with them face to face for a brief moment.
Isn't it a fact they were in your apartment with you for over a half hour?
No, they were not in the same apartment as I for over half an hour.
Isn't it a fact that they were given access to Penthouse 5, the first floor, to do an inspection?
Yes, they were given access. At their insistence, they said they must see everything to make sure that I am safe.
And did you allow them to do that?
Yes.
Isn't it a fact when they made that inspection of Penthouse 5, they did not see any broken glass on the floor?
I don't know what they saw or didn't see. I wasn't ushering them around. They did that by themselves with, I guess maybe Josh was showing them around. But there was extensive damage to which we have plenty of evidence.
Is it your testimony here today that the officers saw extensive damage?
I don't know what the officers saw.
Had any of the damage been cleaned up when the officers arrived by you?
By the time the second set of officers arrived, we had cleaned up the kitchen and cleaned up a bit and cleaned up. Yeah.
By the time the
Whoa, wait a minute. So two things. Number one, did she just admit that she moved around evidence, essentially? Like, you call the police in order to report like a crime, an incident, domestic violence, whatever. By cleaning up before the second set of officers will have arrived, you're admitting to tampering with physical evidence, essentially. Because if the damage was done and then you're like, well, let me clean up because I want to tidy up the place, you're covering up an alleged crime, an alleged incident. Hello? All right, that's number one. And number two, why would you want to clean up, especially if you are calling the police to report an incident? This doesn't make any sense. Like, her actions don't match her story. Normally, people in this regard, they keep things as they are. Why? Because they want it to be preserved. You know what I mean? They want preservation of the facts. Otherwise, well, it defeats the purpose completely. You know what I mean? I don't understand.
The first officers arrived. Had you cleaned up any damage to Penthouse 5?
I don't think so.
Okay. Isn't it a fact that you went with the officers to Penthouse 5, the first set of officers?
No.
Is it your testimony that you never went to Penthouse 5 with either of the officers of the first set of officers on May 21?
Exactly.
Isn't it a fact that the officers testified at proceedings in this case that they in fact went with you to Penthouse 5 and
Pixie Doll
interviewed
says,
you
I don't
in
believe she
Penthouse
cleans
5?
anything
Calls
at
for
all.
speculation. You're asking what officers
Mhm.
testified about?
How would I know what they said?
Did you ever call any police officers after May 21?
Have I seen any police officers?
Have you
after
ever
21?
contacted any police officers after May 21?
No.
And
I don't think so either, Jez Dimitri.
did you ever make
Because I
any
don't think
attempt to
age is a
contact the
clean break.
officers who were there
I
with
agree.
you on May 21, 2016?
I got their business card.
Okay. And upon
Yeah.
getting,
They
Business
left.
card.
They left their business card.
and did you ever make any attempt thereafter, them leaving their business card, to contact those officers?
I did not.
Isn't it a fact you never, at any time after those officers left on May 21, made any attempt to contact the police?
I did not personally.
Did you have anyone else contact the police?
We attempted to.
Who is we?
It's privileged.
Okay.
What?
You've attempted through counsel to contact
How the hell did you determine that what you're about to say is privileged? The witness doesn't get to claim privilege all of a sudden. Reeks. Absolutely reeks.
police?
If she did, it's privileged, so don't answer.
Did you ever tell any officers at your
This
house
is
on May
not, by the
21?
way, for those of you who are like, man, are depositions always like so enthralling and crazy and like one side attacks the other, don't answer, you're not allowed to answer, da da da. You know what typically happens in depositions? They're very, very quiet and peaceful. And one side just asks questions and the other side may occasionally object, just like out of a 4-hour deposition, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times maximum. And maybe one time you will come out and say, look, stop attacking my witness. Like, just ask the question. If he doesn't remember, he doesn't remember. If she doesn't remember, she doesn't remember. That's how depositions normally go. Sometimes, yes, you can have like a borderline fist fight, like the deposition that we reviewed out of the one in Texas. Sure, that stuff happens, but it's like 1 out of 1,000. And this is like 1 out of 10,000, because 99% of the stuff that Mr. Softer is objecting to is, number one, improperly objected to most of the time. And number two, even the ones that he properly gets, you still cannot, this is number 3, tell your witness not to answer, because then you are testifying. You are telling the witness to hide evidence, to withhold information, to hide the truth. You're not allowed to do that as counsel. You can't be like, oh, don't answer that. Even under the, see, what they're trying is this tactic of the guise of privilege. If you talked, remember I talked about this, I think either in the last review of the Depo or the one before that. I remember talking about this. imagine you're asked about a fact and it's very, very damaging to you and you don't want to answer. So you'll be like, well, I talked to my lawyers about this and now it's privileged. So before the deposition starts, you're going to go in the back room, you're going to talk about everything about the case, and now what? No deposition can occur because everything you said is privileged because I talked to my lawyer about it. Just because you talk to your lawyer about it doesn't make it privileged. There's a very limited set of circumstances when statements are privileged because they're attorney-client confidentiality, such as like trial strategy and just consultations in general. You can't ask like, what did you and your lawyer talk about before you came here? You can't ask that. That is privileged. But simply asking like, what happened? Oh, well, I talked to my lawyer about it, so objection privileged. No, that's not how privilege works. She would have been too traumatized to clean potentially, says Dina. Yeah, exactly. I don't disagree.
2016, that Johnny Depp had done anything wrong to you.
Can you repeat that question?
Did you ever tell any officers at your house on May 21, 2016, that Johnny Depp had ever done anything wrong to you that night or before?
You're asking me if I've told them.
If you told them on May
he-
21, yes.
Again, I said to them, I declined to give any statement at this time as per the advice of my counsel.
Did the
They
police?
did make a comment to me about it seeming unsafe. That's why they needed to check the apartment. They made a gesture to my face. They said I looked hurt. They also pulled me aside and said, look, just say a statement. We can make sure you're safe. Just say a statement or give us a statement and we'll go get the guy. And they said the exact same thing to Josh.
And they later testified
Is
that
it your
never happened,
testimony that
I
a
believe,
police officer
at
on
the
May
trial.
21
Yes.
Officer
told you
Leonard.
that it appeared you looked hurt?
He or she gestured, I can't remember which one, to my face and said, we can tell you've been hurt or you don't look good or something to that effect, but I don't remember the exact words they used.
But something to that effect?
Yes.
Is it your testimony? Well, let me ask you, did the officers ever say they saw enough to arrest Johnny when they were with you on May 21, 2016?
Well, they said to both myself and Josh that all I needed to do was give a statement in order for them to go get the guy or go make an arrest. But maybe they use word the arrest.
Yep, no.
But
And your testimony is here today
That's
that one of the
taken.
officers told you that.
yes,
And was it a male officer or a female
like
officer?
I said, I really I can't remember which one it was.
During
They
the
also-
time the police arrived, from the time the police arrived till they left, did you ever at any time call any other human being on a telephone
What?
while the police were at your property
That's
on
not
Broadway?
funny.
Did you ever call on the telephone any other human being
While
while the police were there?
not that I recall, I don't know.
You didn't recall? You don't recall calling anyone?
I said not that I recall.
Okay. Yes. Did I mishear you earlier? Did you not say that you called Samantha Spector while the police were there on May
It was not.
21?
It was not while they were there, it was before they were there.
Before they were there and after you called 911,
I did not call 911.
after you asked to call 911,
I screamed, call 911.
your testimony is between that time and the time the police left, you called Samantha Spector, correct?
No.
Your testimony is that before the police got there, but after you screamed, call 911, you called Samantha Spector.
I called Samantha Spector after Johnny left, and I was being comforted by and protected in Rocky and Josh's apartment. I could hear Johnny still trying to get into the apartments, demanding to get into my apartments, kicking in the doors, throwing the wine bottles. There's still holes in the doors. You can still see to this day from that. And even though it was scary, I wasn't sure if the cops were on the way.
Focus on the question.
And I wasn't sure if the cops were even on the way. And a few minutes later, Josh came in.
Do you
and
remember the
said-
question?
Yes, I'm trying to answer. I am, because I want to be as accurate as possible. Josh came in and said, the cops are here or downstairs or something. What should I do? What should I say to them? And I said, I don't know. I wanted to know how to handle it. I think I probably called counsel. I don't know when I called her.
Okay, but it was after you learned that the cops were there to find out what to do.
I don't know.
And after you learned that the
Wait, hold on. How do you receive advice of counsel not to talk to the police unless she spoke to him before she called the police? See, this is why deposition questions have to be so specific, especially with this woman right here, because if you don't ask, she's not going to tell you. She's going to hide the ball. She's going to play hide the ball. And even when you ask the right question, she has Mr. Hero over here to her left who's ready to jump and, hey, objection, vague and ambiguous, and you're badgering my witness, compound question. And she's like, yeah, that's right, what he said. Next question, Blair, Claire, Care Bear, Blair. What do you got? Girl? You got nothing. I'm not going to be found liable for defamation in 6 years. Just wait and see. Oops.
cops were there and you called Samantha Spector. Was Samantha a friend of yours?
Trying to claim privilege.
Was she a friend of yours at that time?
It's trying to claim privilege.
Wait. If she's a friend or not?
No, fine, I don't care.
Can you repeat your question, please?
Yes, when you called, at the time you called on May 21, Samantha Spector, after you learned that the cops were there and you wanted to call her and did call her, was her relationship with you as a friend?
You just said that I called Samantha after the cops were there, and I have just told you I'm not quite sure when I called her, if it was before the cops were there or not. So I just don't want to answer your question and validate that comment you inserted into the question, if it's okay.
Isn't it true, Ms. Hurd, that you called Samantha Spector on May 21, 2016, because she was representing you in your divorce?
That's attorney.
Was
no,
she your
hang
attorney?
on. In connection with your divorce, there hadn't been a divorce filing, so you've got a problem
Okay.
with that question.
Then what did you say to Samantha Spector
That's
when you
attorney.
called her on May 21, 2016?
Wait, what did you say to Samantha?
That's
Spector?
my
That's
question.
privilege.
Even I know that's
All right.
privilege.
Okay, good.
And it's privileged because, Ms. Hurd, she was your lawyer at that time, correct?
Or she was a lawyer.
I am a lawyer.
It's privileged, don't answer.
You don't answer the question.
Okay.
Counsel is directing the client not to answer whether a call made to another person was privileged because it was her lawyer.
Because it was a lawyer. Any communication with a lawyer.
No.
That's not how
You may want to
privilege
brush
works.
up on that, Mr.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
dude,
seeking
thank
legal
you.
advice from a
Get in
lawyer is
there.
privileged.
Miss,
You just said talking to a lawyer.
Seeking legal advice from
Excuse
a
me.
lawyer is
May
privileged.
I-
They're not asking for substance, for God's sake. They're just simply asking a simple question, yes or no. Did you make a call? Yes, no.
Go to court. We'll
Yes.
go to court.
She shouldn't be speaking.
Ms. Hurd,
Yes, ma'am.
prior to May 21, prior to, let's say, May 22nd, when you say all these things had happened, did you ever commit domestic violence against Johnny Depp?
Objection. I
What?
instruct you not to answer.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No.
Commit domestic violence against Johnny Depp?
Objection.
Say all these things had happened. Did you ever commit domestic violence against Johnny Depp?
Objection. I instruct you not to answer.
What? The question was simple. Did you ever reciprocate this abuse? Do not answer that. That is like the most egregious violation of the law I have ever seen in my entire life. This is too much of an incriminating question, Blair. I'm going to tell my client not to answer that. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? No, no, and no. In the real world, this stuff does not happen. I'm telling you, this is just a bubble that she was in, and she was protected from all sides for some reason. I still don't know why. Maybe this deposition, it's very possible. You know, I actually just got a thought that never happened to me before. That never occurred to me. I've never had a thought before. This is the first time in my life. Do you guys ever get thoughts in your head? It's magical. No. A thought just occurred to me. Is it possible that she thought, look, the judicial process is a joke. Watch how my lawyer just wiped the floor with Care Bear over here. I am going to do the exact same thing in Virginia. Let's fucking go. Is it possible that this is what gave her the full confidence in 2018 to write the op-ed and just be like, it's fine. Even if he sues me, I'll still win. The judicial process is a joke. Look at what they're doing. They can't do anything to me. I am completely impervious to their spells. All I need is a good legal team and I'm protected. Oh my God. This didn't happen overnight. This did not happen overnight. She has been conditioned over time to think, wait a minute, I can really get away with this stuff. And she started dabbling in it little by little by little by little. First she did this, then there was the Sun newspaper, then there was the lawsuit in the UK. She won that. She was like, easy breezy. Yeah, let's go. You want to sue me in the US? Let's do it, you know? And when her face and her demeanor was finally aired to the world, she realized, well, she didn't know at the time. She didn't know. She thought she was still going to be able to skate by. But then when the jury came back with a decision, she was like, appeal. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Because what is she doing? Is she taking the fifth? Is she pleading the fifth? You can't instruct your witness not to answer. You don't do that in depositions. That's not how depositions go. Does she have the right to take the fifth because the answer to this question could incriminate her? Well, then she would have to say that out loud. I refuse to answer on the grounds that answering your question could potentially incriminate me. It's like she has to actually say that. She can't just simply have her lawyer be like, don't answer. Okie dokie. Thank you. Like, no, that's not, no. Viking says, the only deposition I had to speak at was regarding my husband's death and the workers' compensation companies not wanting to pay benefits. That's really unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. It was nothing like this. There you go. It was nothing like this. I did sit there with a resting bitch face, though. So fair enough. I mean, you can do that, but depositions are much more contained by their very nature. Because for the most part, lawyers are kind of cordial to one another. But this was a big, two celebrities, or, well, one celebrity and one wannabe, I suppose. So welcome Katsubi Cats to the channel. Thank you for joining on as a member. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Sheer D says, can you believe she was 30 years old acting like this? Jesus fucking Christ. She's been a literal child her whole life, it seems. She's definitely got issues. I don't disagree. And Johnny says, do her lawyers actually believe her? That's a great question. That's a great question. I mean, they must have, otherwise they wouldn't really pursue the defense, I suppose. But, civil defense lawyers sometimes don't have souls, as we've come to learn. So Kat in Virginia asks, Larry, doesn't she have the right? Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was I already addressed it. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, no.
Is counsel having his client invoke?
I'll also object. It's
also calls for a legal conclusion.
Well, what's the basis for the
What is, may I ask the
Invoking the rule,
basis
that's
for the
the-
objection?
instruction?
An instruction not to answer.
It calls for a legal conclusion, and
What?
it
No, it doesn't.
it
He's making
Amendment.
it up. Fifth Amendment.
Prior to May 20,
Oh, so they got it. They got it in. They got it in. Even she doesn't look happy. She's like, did my lawyer just invoke the Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate me in front of my face? Look, let's watch that again. I know I kind of skipped around. Let's watch that again. Watch that whole thing.
It also calls for a legal conclusion.
May 21, prior to, let's say, May 22nd, when you say all these things had happened, did you ever commit domestic violence against Johnny Depp?
Objection. I instruct you not to answer.
Is counsel having his client invoke?
Invoke the Fifth.
I'll also object to it.
It also calls for a legal conclusion.
No, it doesn't.
Well, what's the basis for the
What is, may I ask the basis for the objection?
instruction?
An instruction not to answer.
It calls for a legal conclusion,
No, it doesn't.
and it Fifth Amendment.
Fifth Amendment. So you invoke. Thank you. Moving on.
Prior to May 22nd.
That is exactly why Blair is like, thank you. Okay, so she refuses to answer because if she answers as to whether or not she committed domestic violence against Johnny might incriminate her. That's all I need. Let's keep going. What's the next question?
2016.
2 thumbs up.
Had you ever struck with your hand or fist Johnny Depp?
Johnny,
Oh, now she's going to answer?
when Johnny would be hitting me,
No, that's
I
not the
did
question.
my best to
The answer is yes or no.
stand up on
AH.
my 2 feet, emotionally and physically. I did my best to defend myself.
Objection, non-responsive. Move
Thank you.
to
I
strike.
picked up my
Yes or no,
hands
Amber?
as best as I could. I tried to.
Okay.
Objection,
Ms. Heard,
non-responsive, moves to
prior to
strike.
May 21,
Should've said it again, Blair.
2016, had you ever thrown an object at Mr. Depp that hit him in his body?
I
bottle.
don't know. I don't remember.
In Australia.
Had you
I
ever
don't
slapped
remember.
him prior to May 22, 2016 with your hand?
Like I said, Johnny's a much bigger man than me. And
That's not an
when a
answer.
bigger
Move to
man
strike.
slaps you around,
Yes or no?
You do your best to defend yourself if you can. And I don't.
Yes
know
or
to
no,
what extent
Amber?
I was able to do that.
Amber, yes or no? What break? You don't need a break. What the fuck is it?
What is the purpose of the, what is the purpose
More
of
Supreme
the
breaks. I need
No, not yet.
Objection,
May we ask what the
pushing the
purpose of the
witness.
break is?
Objection, feeding witness information,
Sit down.
taking unnecessary breaks.
We're taking a break.
Objection, shut the fuck up.
I can
We have-
only do one at a time.
Taking a break.
Objection, yes or no? Hello, excuse me, excuse me, bring the witness back. I'm not done with her.
How much
38.
We're not
time?
off the record.
It's okay, I'm
We can
asking
go
a
off the
question.
record. We're just asking how much time
I
is
just want to know how
left.
much time is
The time is
on.
approximately 6:15 PM, and we're going off the record.
Whew. Okay. All right. There's more. There's more. We're not done yet, folks. 6:15, we take a break and we resume at what? 6:19, I think. 6:18. Like 3-minute break. They definitely consulted about something. I don't know what, but they definitely consulted about something. Viking says, follow up. I won. I wanna something. I don't know. Sorry, Viking. You left the string open. Dina says her face expressions never changed either. Kat in Virginia says, God, she's a terrible actress. I hope I'm doing your comments justice. I tried to read it with the same force and panache that you all are intending when you write them. So I hope I'm doing your super chats justice. I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. It's like Amber to the nth degree level try.
Approximately 6:18 p.m. and we're back on.
And just a clarification, we're not going to invoke the Fifth Amendment privilege, so you can re-ask that question if you like.
Which question?
Did you commit domestic violence against Johnny Depp?
Anytime prior to May 22nd, 2016, did you ever commit an act of domestic violence against Johnny Depp?
Calls for a legal conclusion and irrelevant. But go ahead.
Do you understand what I'm asking you?
No.
No?
Yes, I understand what you're asking
Okay.
me.
And prior to May 21, 2016, or May 22, 2016, is it your testimony that you never committed any act of what would be considered domestic violence against Mr. Depp?
Calls for a legal conclusion and irrelevant to these proceedings.
I did my best to defend myself and not get seriously hurt or be a doormat to whom this happens to all the time.
Isn't it true, Ms. Hurd, that you previously confessed and apologized to Johnny Depp for committing domestic violence against him?
I'm going to object. Calls for a legal conclusion, argumentative
What
harassment.
legal conclusion?
Isn't it
It's
true
not
that you had
argumentative. It's
previously
just calling
told
for
Johnny
effective
Depp that you
light.
had hit him?
I'm going to object. It's a different question. It's vague and ambiguous, vague as to time.
Oh God.
Many times when we fought, well, not many times, he hit me for a very long time before I ever
I'm going to
picked up
object
my
as
arms.
non-responsive and move
Objection,
to
move
strike.
to strike. Yes.
Ms. Hurd, I'd like you to listen to what I'm about to play. Would you do that?
See, she's learning. This is the thing. It's kind of like a gradual learning curve with her. She's learning that if I just start rambling, Blair is going to object, move to strike, and move on to the next question. She's not going to grill me because as soon as she starts grilling me on the same question, objection asked and answered, but it wasn't answered. It was asked, but it wasn't answered. So she can't even ask the second question. It's become this like, it's turned into a fucking charade. There's no other way to describe it. There's absolutely no other way to describe it. Viking says, sorry, I'm talking into my phone. That's okay, no problem. I'm letting you know. I couldn't figure out your comment to read to the people because it was unfinished. But follow up being that I won the lawsuit against the workers' compensation company. Got it. Okay, thank you for that. Awesome. That's great to know. Jesse Sanchez says, I'm answering so I can be as accurate as I can. Also, I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, well, this one I will have to respectfully disagree. I don't know and I don't remember they're all legitimate answers in a deposition. You probably didn't know that. I'm telling you that. If you truly don't know and don't remember, never guess because you're under oath. She sat down, you saw it. And before you sit down in these depositions, you raise your right hand, speak the truth, tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Sometimes they add "so help you God" in the southern states. More Jesus-y states use the God language. Less Jesus-y states don't use the God language anymore. Like Kentucky, I think, still does. And so some judges too. That actually it varies on judges. I just realized rather. But anyway, I digress. So I'm answering so I can be as accurate as I can is about the best you can do. And if you don't remember and you don't recall and you don't know, absolutely say, I don't know. Like here I have to disagree, Jesse. Here I do have to respectfully disagree. Francis McAllister says she is the embodiment of a C under next Tuesday. I think you mean see you next Tuesday, but yes, I can see where you're coming from. Cher D says her lawyer regularly has to tell her, hey, focus on the question. Your drug-induced coma-like state right now is not helping this deposition, Amber. Do we still call people Ambers when they're like not being a Karen, but they're being a cunty Amber? Do we still use that term? Like, I feel since the trial, it has kind of like fallen off. We need to bring it back. Don't be such an Amber. Jesus Christ, girl, you're about to accuse that guy of sexual abuse that he didn't do. Don't be an Amber.
I then stood up. I don't even know if I said, I might have said, like, what the fuck, you know, whatever, because I just stood hitting the head with the fucking corner of the door.
I'm so sorry, I did not, I'm sorry.
And then I stood up.
Do you recognize the voices on that tape?
Mm-hmm.
And who are the people on that tape?
It's Johnny and I.
Okay. And is Johnny describing an act where you made a door go into his head?
Objection, harassing, argumentative.
What?
vague.
Where's the harassing? It's a question.
I was trying to escape from a room where Johnny was attacking me. And in order to escape, I was trying to get onto the other side of the door, attempting to close the door, and he was attempting to get in despite my attempts to try and escape an assault.
Isn't it true that on this tape that was just played, you tell Johnny Depp you're sorry?
Yes.
And then you fucking clapped.
I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing.
Did you just tell Johnny Depp in that recording that I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing?
Yes, as he was trying to get into the door, into the room, I was trying to escape in. He pushed the door into me, and I was trying to hit him by getting him out of the door to stay in the room.
And you told him in that tape recording that you hit him, correct?
Just real quick, Lexi, there is like a 99-cent membership. It's the lowest YouTube will allow me. So if you want to join as a member, you don't even have to join the higher tiers. There's a 99-cent option if that's all you want to do, to have access to the emojis and badges and everything. So please don't hesitate.
I don't know what words I used in that. You can play it back if you want, but I don't remember exactly how long.
If you wouldn't mind, if you'll continue to listen.
Okay.
I'm really sorry about hitting you in the door or hitting your head.
Did you tell Johnny Depp at that time you were speaking to him that you were really sorry for hitting him with the door, hitting him?
I think in that recording I made it very clear that I was sorry that the door.
Yeah, people who try to like run away from their assaulters are not going to apologize for hitting them back. She goes to the state of mind. That's beautiful. Good job. Good job, Blair.
I hit him while he was trying to get into the room I was
Welcome, Francis McAllister,
attempting to escape into.
to the mini grills.
I will mark, excuse me. I'd like you to listen to the following tape. This is punched, and we need to have.
Are they being marked as exhibits?
Yeah, mark as
We
exhibit.
just marked P as the one we just played,
Okay.
correct?
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
And I have
Marking the next thing that I'm going to play to you as Hugh. Would you listen to this, please? This is punching. The one that says punching.
So,
Let's skip on.
just here you are. Anyway, the bathroom door when we were knocked on it.
This is the punching.
That's what we just opened.
Where's the disc?
And you just kept going, kept going. Tried to close the door 3 times. You know, please, just don't let, and then wait, and then I accidentally, I swear, when I was trying to close the door, I guess it scratched your toes. I didn't mean to do that. I bent down. And you either pushed or you kicked the door open.
That hearing his voice
Yeah, more open. So that
about this like brings a tear to my eye.
I did not
I just can't.
I was bent down behind the door.
I did not do anything to him. I did not kick at the door or push the door so that it would hit you. I did not. I swear to God. I mean, that did not, was not my intention. I think I remember when the door scraped my toes.
Okay. So you told him in that excerpt that you hit him with the door but did not intend to hit him, correct?
Recording speaks for itself.
Did you say that?
Question, answer, just
I said
stop.
whatever I said in that recording. I
Okay.
don't, when you play it for me, it's hard for me to remember every single
And
word.
that's a recording marked as exhibit the punching.
Q, that we
Q.
just played.
Q. Would you continue to listen to exhibit Q?
Are these from the same day?
I reacted, but this whole, the door thing, I never did that. That wasn't on purpose. I might have done it on accident.
Okay. So let's say that was an accident. I then stood up. I don't even know if I said, I might have said, like, what the fuck? You know, whatever. Because I just been hit in the head with the fucking corner of the door.
I'm so sorry. I did not. I'm sorry.
And then I stood up. And then you fucking clapped.
I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing. And I'm really sorry about hitting you with the door or hitting your head. I did not mean to, nor.
You didn't mean to hit me in the head with the door, but you meant to
I did.
punch me in the jaw.
I meant to hit you, and I did not do this thing with the door. I do remember. I did mean to hit you.
So that you didn't mean.
The door? No, God, no. I
But punching me in the jaw.
I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry.
So on the tape,
Wow.
you tell Johnny Depp
There
that
it
you
is. The eye roll and the smirk, the little, oh my God. I can't believe it. Look at that again. Listen. Watch your face. Welcome, Ginger Snap. Thank you for joining. Listen to this and watch her smirk. I just can't with this woman.
You meant to
I did.
punch me in the jaw.
I meant to hit you, and I did not do this thing with the door. I do remember. I did.
It's almost like she's remembering like how she hit him, and when she said like I didn't mean to hit you, and she's just like, yeah, I did actually. I did mean to hit you. Like, oh, it brings me warm memories to remember. Like, oof, it's like a warm hug from a green demon. Oh, yeah. Mhm. Yes. Oof. Tell me where it hurts, Johnny. Tell me where it fucking hurts.
Mean to hit you.
So that you didn't mean.
The door? No, God, no. I
But punching me in the jaw.
I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry.
so on the tape
Trying
you
to hide
tell
it.
Johnny Depp that you did mean to hit him.
Objection, that's argumentative and it misstates what the recording was.
And it also misrepresents what actually happened, which is him trying to get into a room I'm trying to keep him out of. And then he runs the door over my toes, trying to get into the room. I tried to push him out of it, which is what the hit is referred to. And Johnny, whenever he was injured or touched, it always referred to it in these ways of punching or clocked or whatever. And whether you didn't just
Or clocked or whatever.
the last thing you do in talking to him afterwards or trying to reconcile with him is to get into what the definition of those words mean to him.
Just say what
So
happened.
I never even addressed it. He would, if he was ever pushed, it was a cold. He called it a cold clock. I mean, it was just very dramatic.
Isn't
about
it true, Ms. Heard, that
She's
in
very
September of
dramatic.
2015, you punched Johnny?
Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead and tell the world that I, Johnny Depp, a man, was abused by a little old woman, me. Go and tell the world, Johnny.
Johnny Depp in the face with a closed fist.
I have I hit Johnny one time when he. Sorry. Oh wait.
No, you answer the question. Please stop whispering because it's distracting over here.
Oh, God. So you can whisper to your own fucking witness in the middle of the depo, but, oh, excuse me, your whispering is distracting my witness. Please, I instruct you not to whisper. It is extremely fucking distracting, all right? You do not even fucking realize when I do it, you should pay no fucking attention to it whatsoever. But when you do it, you better not. You have no right to be acting in such a manner in front of me because I'm sitting on my fucking high horse with my little whip and go, on horsey, let's go.
No, I was referring
No, these
to
two.
this actually.
I can't hear them. I hear them. So please answer the question.
Yes or no, did you ever
No.
punch Johnny Depp with a closed fist in the history of your relationship with Johnny?
Answer it however you feel you wish to.
One time, Johnny was hitting me, and he was hitting me hard and repeatedly, and I was screaming. Security walks in, and they don't do anything about it. And he makes this motion when Jerry Judge yells "boss" or Sean, I can't remember who it was, and all we had was a little bit of separation, and my sister runs down the stairs. We're on a landing in between two flights of stairs.
Ms. Hurd, I must interrupt you
You can't.
because
You
I've
can't.
asked you a yes or
Then
no question.
withdraw your question then because
Ms.
she's
Hurd,
answering.
prior to today's date, have you ever hit Johnny Depp?
Answer it however you wish.
352.
You've already asked and she's already answered and you interrupted her.
Ms. Hurd, have you ever hit Johnny Depp prior to today?
Objection, Vegas to time.
Hey, everyone on this side of the room, please.
Objection 352. It's not relevant to the domestic violence proceeding.
Overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Answer it however you want to.
Wait, there's a
including the way
judge in
you
the
just- if
I'm
you wish.
asking for a yes or no answer.
You don't have to answer it the way she wants you to answer it.
He was about
This is
to
like
push
the
my
first
sister
time I think
down
we
the
learned
stairs.
this.
She was attempting to break us up. I am protective over my baby sister. When he laid hands on her, I don't know what I did, but I know I jumped in between the actions that I saw could lead to a fatal injury to my sister. She was standing on the top of a flight of stairs and
Fatal.
she's never hurt anyone in her life, and she does not
Fatal
deserve
injury.
to be pushed down the flight of stairs. And it looked like she was about to be. And I would have done what anybody who has a child or a sister would have done. I acted defensively in her life. I saw her standing on top of a flight of stairs and trying to interrupt a fight in between him and I. I don't know what part of my body I put in between me and him and her, but I would have done anything. I would have done anything to prevent her from being pushed down a flight of stairs.
Isn't it true, Ms. Hurd, that prior to today, you've committed domestic violence against your sister, Whitney Hurd?
I'm going to object.
Objection.
Don't answer that. It has nothing to do with these proceedings.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Hurd, that you've hit Johnny Depp on multiple occasions prior to today's date?
Objection 352.
Okay, it's compound. It's been asked and answered.
Isn't it a
Oh, okay.
fact,
Nice
Ms.
speeches.
Hurd,
That's what I
that
figured. I
on
was like, there's no
multiple
way there's a judge in
occasions
the
prior to today, you've hit Mr. Depp without any provocation?
Same objection.
Objection, Vegas to time 352.
No?
No.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Hurd, that prior to today, you have slapped Mr. Depp on multiple occasions?
It's a rule. It's a
Objection,
California
Vegas to
rule.
time 352.
Welcome, Joanna.
Isn't it true
Remember.
you've slapped Mr. Depp prior to today on multiple occasions?
Same objection.
Yeah, she looks really mad, like exhaustingly
When you live in
mad.
such a violent relationship as I have been in,
Violent is to
with someone
who,
who's so much
Amber?
bigger than you and so much stronger than you and has no off button. You do the best you can to defend yourself, and I don't know to what extent I would have that he could claim I have done damage on him. I've done my best to defend myself. He is much bigger than me. He's much stronger than me, and this has went on for so long before I ever even tried to defend myself.
Objection, move to strike non-responsive.
It is responsive.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Hurd, that you, on multiple occasions prior to today,
Please lower your voice.
threw objects
Please lower your voice.
that hit Mr. Depp, including a mineral spirits can?
Objection.
352, it's irrelevant to these proceedings. It's vague as to time. It's vague and ambiguous.
Objection, Mr. Softer is being vague and annoying. Move to strike lawyer from the room and begin deposition anew tomorrow morning. Motion granted.
Including a mineral, are you, it sounds like a compound. Are you asking about several instances or one instance? It's vague.
Have you ever intentionally thrown an object that hit Mr. Depp prior to today?
Okay, I'm going to get some new objections. 352, irrelevant to these proceedings, vague and ambiguous, vague as to time, harassing. But go ahead and explain in any way you feel is appropriate.
What do you mean?
I mean, have you ever thrown an object prior to today at Mr. Depp that hit him?
Same objections.
I don't know what has hit him. I don't remember anything in particular about mineral spirits.
Have you ever thrown a bottle or any other object at Mr. Depp prior to today which hit him?
Same objections.
I don't know.
Isn't
I don't
it
know what's hit him.
Isn't it true, Ms. Hurd, that you in
You
fact
interrupted her.
I don't know what is hit him. I don't know what has been thrown in self-defense because it meant that, or him being landing a punch at me. I don't know also what I will pass over when we have these discussions afterwards and you're just seeking for peace, what I would have said or not said just to move on with our lives and acquire for ourselves some sort of peace. So a lot of times we'd have these conversations afterwards where he would articulate some of his experiences and a lot of which are delusional, and some to which I would agree and not.
Focus on the question. The question is about thrill.
have you ever prior to today?
Bro, like what side are you on, man? Like, aren't you supposed to be on my side? He's like, focus on the question, Amber. Oh, yeah, shit. Even her lawyer is just like, abandon ship. Too many rats.
Thrown any object at Mr. Depp, whether or not it hit him?
Objection.
350.
352, irrelevant, vague as a time, calls for a narrative, potentially.
It calls for a yes or no answer. Ms. Hurd, have you prior to today ever thrown any object at Mr. Depp, whether or not it actually hit him?
Same objections and answer it however you wish.
I don't know. It depends on, I guess, the context. I might have thrown something if it meant that it was either because he was advancing on me or because I had no other means to which I could protect myself. He weighs well over 100 pounds more than me. And if someone like that's coming after you because they're high or fucked up, high or drunk and have taken a bag of ecstasy and done a bunch of cocaine and are heavily intoxicated, like in Australia or Japan, you do whatever you can to defend yourself. And I don't know. I have no idea what else I could do.
So is that yes or no?
I don't know is what my answer was to you, and I explained it the best I could.
Isn't it true, Ms. Hurd, that in Australia in March of 2016, you threw an alcohol bottle at Mr. Depp, and in fact, when it smashed, you cut off the end of his finger with the bottle that you'd thrown?
Ooh.
That's a ridiculous accusation.
Isn't it a fact that you threw on December 30th, 2015, while on the island in Exuma, a can of mineral spirits paint thinner and hit Mr. Depp in the head.
Objections 352 irrelevant to these proceedings, vague, argumentative, harassing.
Isn't it true? Yes?
Today it's
If she
back.
doesn5 want to have you answer, then let her ask another
Are
question.
you prepared to
So
answer?
sorry.
She was about to, but you started asking a
I
new question.
apologize. Ms. Depp, Ms. Hurd, are you about to answer? Would you answer
What's
that
the
question?
Please repeat your question.
Did you throw on December 30, 2015, a can of paint thinner while on the island of Exuma at Johnny Depp and hit him in the head?
352 irrelevant to these proceedings, vague, argumentative, and harassing.
On the island, I remember this last time he came at me really bad. He came at me really hard. And it started in the closet. And at one point, he had me by the neck in the closet. And he said this, I think he said it was like this, you don't think I'll fucking do it this time. You don't think I'll fucking do it. He had his hands around my neck. Wasn't squeezing very hard. He was, but he was squeezing. And
Just for the record here, I know you guys have been asking, so let me show you all real quick what 352 is. So it has to do with hearsay. It has to do with hearsay rules. Let's see. There we go. Can you all see that? Yes, you can. Evidence Code 352 authorizes the court to exclude from an expert's testimony any hearsay. Expert's testimony. She's not an expert. Has anyone read 352 before they started throwing it around like fucking candy on Halloween during the deposition? What the hell? Evidence Code 350, Section 352 authorizes the court to exclude from an expert's testimony any hearsay matter whose irrelevance, unreliability, or potential for prejudice outweighs its proper probative value. Oh, God. It's not even the proper use of 352. But I guess when you're caught with your pants down on the spot as the plaintiff's lawyer, Jesus. Oh, God. All right. Back to the show. The shit show.
I don't know if I pushed him or I picked something up to get away. Or at what point I picked something up, but I have thrown something on the island at him while I was running from the closet where this started to the door to get out.
Isn't it true, Ms. Hurd, that in front of 2 different employees at the island, you threw the paint thinner and hit him in the head on December 15th?
352 irrelevant, vague, argumentative, harassing.
In front of whose employees?
And asked and answered.
That's true. I just explained it, I guess.
Well, explain it again because
No, I'm not asking for anything other than a yes or no. Did you or did you not throw a can at Johnny Depp on December 15, 2015?
Asked
No.
and answered.
No.
You have to wait
Okay.
for me to object.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Objection argument.
I'm sorry.
Just wait.
In
You have
fact,
all the time in the world. She doesn't. You do.
sorry.
Ms.
Stop talking.
Her lawyer is so nervous, says Joanna, about letting her speak. Every question is vague and harassing. Doesn't sound like he actually believes her.
Talking, please. I haven't given my objections. Or are you withdrawing the question?
There's no question pending.
There was. I was about to object. My objections are 352, irrelevant, harassing, vague as to time, and answer however you feel is appropriate.
Okay. What incident are you referring to?
I'll move on, Ms.
No, I want you to answer. Can you please read back the
Hurd.
question?
Ms. Hurd.
Please read back the question.
Isn't it
Withdraw the question.
Fine. Withdraw the question and we'll move on.
Isn't it true that you've been previously arrested for committing domestic violence against your spouse?
I'm going to object. irrelevant, harassing, has nothing to do with this proceeding. It's argumentative. Go ahead and explain how you want to.
There was no domestic violence within that relationship, and the state of Washington, where I was arrested, immediately dropped the charges because they knew the exact same thing that I just told you, that no domestic violence ever occurred. And my ex has stated such. In fact, it was so ridiculous, those charges. It was a verbal argument, it was misinterpreted, misrepresented, and completely overreacted upon by two individuals in a power position. And as soon as they found out that we were partners, which we were not going to be arrested for before, as soon as they found out we were partners, the male cop, not this other woman who's later been brought into the press, this male cop put me in handcuffs.
Blair.
And that's there was no physical violence, no physical abuse, and zero domestic violence whatsoever between us. It was a trumped up charge, and it was dropped immediately for being such.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Hurd, that in fact on September 24th, 2009, you were arrested for domestic violence committed against Tasha Van Ray?
Asked and answered. Isn't that what you just talked about?
Did I miss something?
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Hurd, that on September 14th, you were in fact taken to jail? It wasn't dropped immediately.
Same objections, Vegas.
Same objections.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Hurd, that you spent the night in jail from September 14th to September 15th, 2009, as a result of your arrest for domestic violence?
Same objections. It's irrelevant.
Is that true?
352. She's already answered what happened. It's
Is that
vague.
true?
It's argumentative. It's harassing. You just want to, get your harassment in. Go ahead.
Let the record reflect Mr.
I just
Carter's
answered.
directing her not to answer. Did you
I
spend the night in
answered you.
jail?
I
Yes.
never said don't answer. I never said that.
Reporter is about to.
That's not my fault.
Yes, it is.
Because she keeps cutting me off every time I say something.
And wasn't it you who just a minute ago was saying, like, please lower your voice? Come on, man. Pot kettle.
No, Mr. Hart.
Well,
Not
I have
me,
to be
Kettle.
heard. Everyone's talking over me. You've got a whole wall of lawyers over there who are
Miss
talking over me.
May I continue?
Except for Hans.
Can I say something?
Ms. Hurd, isn't it a fact that Tasha Van Ray on September 14th, 2009 claimed to the police that you had hit her arm?
Same objection.
No?
I don't know anything about this.
Answer give a full answer, please.
I don't know anything about the claim that you just made about what Tasha said or did not say. I can't possibly know that. I know nothing about what you just said.
Isn't it a fact that on September 14th, you hit Tasha Van Ray in her arm?
No.
Isn't it a fact on September 14th, you broke the necklace off of Tasha Van Ray's neck?
352.
A
It's
necklace.
irrelevant to these proceedings. Argumentative harassing.
Isn't it a fact that Tasha Van Ray reported to the police that you had hit her arm?
352. Irrelevant, vague, argumentative, and harassing.
And speculation.
Isn't it a fact, Ms.
It's
Hurd,
heard still.
that you know very well that your spouse, that your domestic partner, Tasha Van Ray, requested that you be arrested for domestic violence?
Calls. You need to please let me get my objections in, okay? Please.
Okay, at this time, we would like to take a break for 10 minutes.
No, I want to get my objections
Oh my
in.
God.
Well, fine. She said no, so
May we go off the record?
Hans, you got-
we're not going off the record. We're not going off the
We're
record.
taking a brief break.
We're not taking a brief
Really,
break
we got to take a break every single time you wanted to.
because
Yeah.
you made her cry. So we're not taking a break.
I actually.
Well, please. See, this is called like when a narcissist hires a narcissistic lawyer. Anytime we want to break, break. You're harassing her. We want a break. It's time for a break. And then, okay, well, all right, we'll take the break. And then the one time they're like, you know what? We want to take a break. Oh, no, you ain't, sister. You ain't taking no fucking break. This is my house. This is my deposition. Get the fuck out of here, man.
We're going to keep running. We're not.
Keep running.
You guys take a break. You got 10 minutes, and we're walking out in 10 minutes.
Are you joking?
We're not off the record.
We have to.
It's okay.
This dude is a fucking clown.
Great. More emotions.
This one we're gonna.
Rose, welcome to the channel.
Yeah. I can't wait for you guys to
Thank
win
you so
one.
much for joining. He is. He totally is.
I must tell you, I
You're
am
on
You're on the record, Blair.
Say whatever you want.
You're on the record.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, Blair. Yeah, it's a smart move. Don't do it, Blair. Don't do it. Oh my God! And there he goes. It's so cringe. It's so close to her breasts. I can't. Like, how is she okay with that?
Is she okay?
Oh, it's so
That happened to
vile.
Blair last
There are more microphones than the ones in your hand.
Thank you.
One of me. No,
Anyone wants to talk?
no. You walked into a glass wall, so it was just a little. We had a moment.
Still on the record, Ms. Hurd, were you here in these offices last weekend, Saturday, August 6th?
Ms. Hurd,
Sorry.
Let the record reflect Ms. Hurd is chewing and placing her microphone back on her body.
Well, you walked out of the room, so she took a bite of food. Is that a crime?
Oh God, dude.
You okay?
Oh, he has to have an answer for everything.
I'm gonna get there, Pierce, as soon as you want.
I'm gonna get there.
Everybody just settle down.
I'm glad somebody's having
Shall I
fun back
repeat
there
the
because it
question,
sure as
Ms. Hurd?
fuck ain't me.
Please.
Were you here in these offices last weekend, Saturday,
kidding, I'm
August
having fun.
6th?
Was that last time? Yes, I was.
What time did you arrive?
I don't remember exactly what time I arrived.
Do you remember approximately what time you arrived?
Do you mean to the location, or do you mean to this office, like upstairs?
Into
Oh my
these
fucking
offices.
God.
I don't know. I don't know what time it was. It was.
Bless you.
Ow, my
It was-
eardrum.
I spent a long time trying to get into this building. I had to drive around. I saw paparazzi. We looked for an entrance. Garage entrance. Couldn't find the garage entrance thing. So I don't know how long that all took.
Can you approximate what time you came to these offices on Saturday morning inside these offices?
I don't know how long it took me to get from
Thank you, Rose.
downstairs up here. There were so many photographers. We tried so many different ways to get in.
Oh.
What time did you arrive downstairs?
At the time that my lawyers told me to arrive.
Which was what
Oh,
time?
wait,
Well,
don't talk about
Yeah.
what your lawyers tell you. If you recall the time, tell her the time.
I believe it was. I don't remember. I'm sorry, I'm jet lagged. I don't remember. It was
Was it the morning or the afternoon?
the morning.
And was it the late morning or the early morning?
Suddenly
Okay.
she's jet lagged.
What's early, what's late?
7 hours, 7.5 hours into this deposition, suddenly she's jet lagged. What? That's the first time we heard that. That is the first time this entire depo. We're like 20 minutes from the end. And all of a sudden she's jet lagged, by the way. Pardon-moi? Ms. Heard, can you please pinpoint on this slab of bullshit where exactly does jet lag lie? That was an intentional subconscious pun to your stupidity and your lies. Oh, right here. Well, thank you very much. Please continue with your Shit position. Went from French to German there at the end. That was, yeah.
2 a.m.
Okay, I'll move on. Were you here to have your deposition taken?
Yes, I will.
And did you have your deposition taken on August 6th?
Last Saturday?
Yes.
No.
At
You can
any
use Twitter
time
and Instagram to
during
become a
your
member.
visit here to these
You just hit
offices
the join
on
button.
August 6th to have your deposition taken, did you ever enter this conference room at any time?
No.
Where were you in these offices during the time you were here on August 6th?
In a conference room.
Okay. And what time did you leave these offices on August 6th?
It was very late.
Oh, you see what she just got out of her? She just admitted she was in the offices of her lawyers a week prior as they were prepping her, and they prepped her for a very long time. That is huge. For Blair, that is a dub, like a straight up dub.
Who was seated with you while you were in these offices on August 6th?
Objection. That's vague.
You are on an iPhone.
sitting with-
At
Of
any
your
time when
browser
you were in these offices?
in Chrome or your computer.
Pardon me?
iPhone.
Was Joe
do not have a
Jackson
join
with
button.
you when you were in these offices on August 6th?
Who's Joe Jackson?
Did you have any security personnel with you
Oh, yeah.
while you were in these offices on August 6th?
I don't know.
Vague as to what you mean by Joe, whether Joe was sitting in the lobby.
Did you bring someone named Joe Jackson as a security person to these offices on August 6th?
No, I did not bring him.
Was someone named Joe Jackson, who was a security person, with you when you came to these offices on August 6th?
Vegas security. They can work too.
Was somebody named Joe Jackson with you when you came into these offices on August 6th?
Objection vague.
Someone named Joe helped me get from downstairs to the elevators.
Did that person named Joe stay in these offices while you were here?
I have no
To your
idea
knowledge.
where he was.
Did you ever see him during any part of the day you were at these offices?
I saw him in the lobby once or twice,
Okay.
maybe. Yeah.
And that was the lobby outside of the conference room
I don't
where
know.
you were sitting?
I don't know. Oh yeah, exactly the lobby. So,
Okay.
I don't know of another lobby. I
Okay.
don't know the office layout.
And that's the reception area of these offices?
That's what I'm referring to is the
Okay.
lobby more or less.
Okay. And what time did you leave on August 6th?
It was in the evening. It was very late.
Okay. When you came here on August 6th and arrived in the morning and left in the evening very late, did you bring your cell phone that day?
I believe I did.
You brought your cell phone with you that day? Okay. Did you bring any other computer devices with you that day?
I did not bring my computer. I can't remember if I brought my computer.
Did
I
you
don't-
bring
I don't think so.
Did you bring any other digital devices with you that day on August 6th when you were here for your deposition?
No, just my phone, I think.
Did you make any telephone calls on that phone on August 6th while you were in these offices?
Yes.
Did you, to whom did you make those calls?
I'm going to object. If it has nothing to do with this case, then she shouldn't answer it.
Are you answering my question?
Yeah, she doesn't have to answer.
No. Privacy. Real good basis.
Don't
Privacy.
forget to like this
Privacy,
video,
relevance,
comment below, subscribe to the channel.
Ms.
if
Herb,
you haven't
did you
already.
cry at any time you were present in these offices last Saturday, August 6th, 2016?
Don't
Objection.
answer. It's harassing. Don't answer. It has nothing to do with any of
You have
this.
to answer.
How is this going to
Ms. Herb,
prove or
were you-
disprove anything?
Ms.
for
Herb,
the-
were you ever
It's
asked
not your
to
job.
enter this conference room to commence your deposition on August 6th?
Yes.
No, I don't know that
Hey.
she knows.
I'm sorry, can you say that?
Were you
again?
ever asked to enter the conference room here to start your deposition on August 6th at any time?
No.
Were you ever asked by Ms. Laura Wasser at approximately 2 p.m. to come into the conference room to start your deposition?
No, I was not asked.
Were you ever asked by Ms. Wasser at approximately 5:30 p.m. to start your deposition and come into the conference room?
No, she never asked me to come into any conference room.
Ms. Heard, where were you yesterday at 10 a.m.?
Argumentative, harassing, irrelevant.
Privacy.
Were you in the United States of America yesterday at 10 a.m.?
Objection to harassing.
Irrelevant.
Doesn't have to answer.
I'm going to take their advice.
They're like arguing which
Are you not
objection
going to
we
answer
should
my
use.
I'm
question?
taking my counsel's advice.
Were you aware yesterday at 10 a.m. that there was a court order for you to attend your deposition in these offices at 10 a.m. On August 12th?
It's privilege.
Yeah,
If you learn
objection.
from lawyers, it's privilege. Don't answer.
State's fact.
You guys, please
It's not-
Notwithstanding any confidential information relayed to you by your counsel, were you aware there was a court order for you to attend your deposition yesterday, August 12th, 2016, at these offices?
There
If you
wasn't
learn
at
that-
9:40, there
Hang
wasn't.
on.
Can you say
This is-
that again?
What?
It's important for the record.
As of 9:40,
Is there-
there wasn't. Blair, we were in court. Nobody else here was. The court made an order before
Is
10
there-
o'clock.
Is
If
there,
you learned of anything from counsel, then you can't answer because it would be privileged. It's also
That's not
irrelevant.
true.
is there any reason you were not present for the start of your deposition yesterday, August 12th, 2016, in these offices?
Objection,
Harassing.
client privilege.
Privilege, harassing.
There was
don't
a
answer.
court order.
Oh, God.
Your attorney filed a document in court yesterday
that this
stating
shit
that,
show is
quote,
almost
an
over.
emergency
I
has
can't.
arisen which
I don't know why I did
requires
this to
ex parte
myself.
relief.
I did it for you
Unquote.
guys. I did it for
Would
you.
you like
guys.
to see a copy of this document?
I
What are
would.
these freaking bots?
Yeah, I would.
Do you, before I show you the copy of the document, do you
Your
know
36
what-
minutes is up.
what any emergency, was there any emergency yesterday that you had?
Objection, harassing.
Harassing.
Did you
We're
have-
out of
That was
time.
conclusion.
We're out of
Did you
time.
have any emergency,
time?
Ms. Hurd?
Yeah, we're out of time.
We're out of time. Deposition's over.
What?
All right, that'll
That's
do
it?
it,
You're just
folks.
gonna cut it short
Thank you.
like that? That's it? I thought there was more.
I'm not adjourning this deposition yet.
Well,
7
we
hours.
are, because you ran out of, your
Oh.
7 hours is over. It's now 6:55 PM. She was here at 10 o'clock or
We
10
still have time remaining for the
10:07 a.m.
deposition.
Not according to your
And
videographer.
We
You
have
told me
not concluded these proceedings or adjourned these
your
proceedings.
videographer, Mr. Videographer, I'm sorry, I don't know your name. You told me 36 minutes and I put the timer on. Are we out of time now, sir?
You've been in the room for 7 hours and you haven't even had the decency to learn the name of your freaking videographer? Come on, man.
We're out of time, sir.
We're out of time.
We're at 7 hours.
Yes,
Okay,
that's the law.
thank you.
That's the law.
I would like to make a record that the 7
Blair.
hours that
Fucking
to
do it,
which
Blair.
Mr. Harder refers to has included repeated speaking objections and other proper objections throughout the day, obstructing these proceedings moving forward. Mr. Harder has continued in his efforts to obstruct these proceedings by making non-law objections
Do that
and
next time.
directing his client not to answer questions in these proceedings.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe
And I'm just gonna respond that all of
Seriously?
that's incorrect. I was making appropriate objections based upon the inappropriate questioning and commentary that was coming from Ms. Burke. I had to make very brief statements, so, it was all entirely appropriate, and if you make a motion, we're gonna seek sanctions against you because it would be improper.
Seek sanctions
We've
against
been here
you?
for 7 hours.
Bro,
We've
if anybody
been
deserves
here
sanctions,
for
it's you.
7 hours. We've been very patient. It's 6:55 that we ended. She was here at just a few minutes after 10 a.m. We took short breaks. It's been a full day. We've fully complied with the code, and you'd be wasting the court's time, our time, a lot of resources if you were to bring a
Wow,
motion
dude.
otherwise.
Again,
Mr. Harder, would you like to say anything else for the record?
straight up pot meat.
No, thank
kettle.
you.
Thank you, Pierce. Good seeing you. I'm going to
I'll see you in
continue.
court.
I'm going to continue by saying that I offer the following stipulation, that the court reporter be relieved of responsibility with respect to the original transcript, and that the original be transcribed and signed by the deponent under penalty of perjury. The original will be sent to counsel for the deponent and read, corrected, and signed within 30 days of receipt by counsel. If not notified of changes in writing within that time frame, the original shall be deemed signed and correct. The notice of corrections, you can fax, let the record reflect Ms. Hurd is no longer in the room
She's left the building.
and left apparently the deposition so that she's not receiving this information from counsel.
She doesn't need to. I'll tell her. If you want to do a stipulation, let's do a stipulation. I could tell her what it is. She doesn't need to be here for
What's
this.
the attorney-client privilege?
Are you waiving the attorney-client
Of
privilege?
course not. I can make a stipulation on behalf of my client as to how the transcript gets treated. Why are you guys laughing? You're like a couple of,
Say it. Go ahead.
Please.
Say it, Charles. I dare you.
jovial people who don't take things seriously. You've been laughing all day. It's been distracting.
People.
I've done more stipulations for transcripts than probably anybody in this room. So are you proposing a transcript? I mean, you argue over every tiny little thing. What's your stipulation? Did you say all the...
Oh my God, tell me this is not the classic pot meat kettle. I am going to object all the time, and then I'm going to say you did it. It was you who did that. I didn't do it. You did it. And every time that he would do it and prompt her to do it, well, you are the one who did all of this. Jesus Christ, my God. You know, this guy, I don't know how he's still a lawyer. I really don't. I mean, I do, but I don't. Who would hire him? Other people that are exactly like him?
terms or
I
not?
don't know. I have no
Are you
idea.
indicating, Mr. Harder, that you intend to convey the information I am giving to your client?
I can convey whatever I want to my client. If we enter into a stipulation,
Will you
I
just
can
tell
enter
me
into
what
one
you'll
on her
do rather than
behalf,
just
and
play
I can let
around?
her know what the stipulation is.
Are you indicating you are willing to do that?
The projection
I'm willing
is
to
strong
do
with
that when
me.
I hear the terms of the stipulation.
Yes.
Continuing where I left off.
She fired
I'm repeating
him
because I
and
didn't
fired
catch
like
half of it.
50 other lawyers that
More like
represented her so far.
Sure, Mr. Harder. I offer the following stipulation, that the court reporter be relieved of responsibility with respect to the original transcript, and that
Kimberly Fine says her bestie Io claimed to be a New York Times journalist and photographer, but he never told her to document shit that matters. Interesting.
that the original be transcribed and signed by the deponent under penalty of perjury. The original will be sent to counsel for the deponent to read, correct, and sign within 30 days of receipt by counsel. If not notified of any changes in writing within that time frame, the original shall be deemed signed and correct. The notice of corrections can be faxed to us if your client chooses. The original transcript shall be maintained by counsel for the deponent and shall be made available at the time of hearing without notice. If not available, then a certified copy of the same can be corrected. Or if the original shall be otherwise lost, mutilated, altered, or destroyed, a certified copy of the same, as corrected, may be used in place and instead of the original and used for all purposes for which the original could have been used.
Represented Trump in the
This session is suspended.
I do not agree to the suspension. No, absolutely not.
I would suggest one other thing. If we are having a hearing on Wednesday, is your client?
Wait, hold on. What is suspended? Sorry.
This session is suspended.
Oh, suspended. So what Blair is trying to say is we will resume at a later time. The deposition is not concluded. The deposition is basically, it's like an adjournment. We adjourn. It is suspended. We'll come back at a later time to finish.
I do not agree
That's
to
why
the
he
suspension.
objects.
No, absolutely not.
I would suggest one other thing. If we are having a hearing on Wednesday, is your client willing to review the transcript and make changes before then?
I don't think so. I mean, You proposed 30 days and you're proposing
Well,
like a day.
Let me finish. I'm just stating the obvious. We have a hearing on Wednesday, and it would seem appropriate that if your client is planning to testify on Wednesday, then she should review the transcript beforehand and make any changes.
All right, look, I'm willing to go along with everything except the suspension and to add email as well as fax, and I'll agree to that, but I'm not agreeing to that.
Mr. Harder, are you aware that the hearing in this DVR
Yes, I know
proceeding
that.
is
Yeah.
set for this Wednesday?
I am.
Yes. Are you saying you are unwilling to have your client read and review the transcript prior to that hearing?
Well, how much time? It's going to be 7 hours of testimony, which is a huge booklet and a whole lot of documents. And the court reporter, I don't know when she's going to get this turned around because today's a Saturday. I don't know if you're planning on having her work all day today and all day tomorrow on this. When are we going to get that? And I'm not sure what my client's schedule is. So it's a lot of work to have happen in a short period of time.
Well, I would say this.
I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just trying to be practical.
I would say this, which is I heard your co-counsel say that he wanted to get a copy of the transcript tomorrow, assuming that's even humanly possible, given the extremely, extremely difficult record that this court reporter had to deal with today. Assuming that's proper, and given the really, really serious nature of this proceeding and the serious nature of the allegations that your client has made, I would expect that she would take the time and whatever her busy schedule might be to review the transcript. And quite frankly, the transcript is not going to be as long as you suggest in terms of testimony, given all of the colloquy, the long objections, the commentary between both sides, frankly. In terms of actual testimony, there's going to be pretty limited.
Most of the text was Amber speaking. Most of the text was Amber speaking. I know, you're going on and on and on. That's what's eating all this up is your long speech. I'm not going to agree to a turnaround of, that my client reads it all in a day. I'm not going to agree to that.
It's yes or no, and you just said no. So.
I would like to get a copy of the final as soon as you could have it. If you could do it in 24 hours, that'd be amazing. And I'd like a copy of the video as fast as possible too. 24 hours or whatever you can turn.
So it can be leaked to TMZ?
If that's what you're going to do, then go for it. That's what you guys do. All right. I guess we're not going to stipulate. If you want to stipulate to the 30 days and the other stuff that you were proposing, that's fine.
Oh,
But your co-counsel is like trying to change your stipulation. So
No, she is not.
you said 30 days and she said 1 day or 2 days. So I'll go with the 30, but I'm not going to go with the 1 or 2.
We have a hearing this Wednesday, the 17th? The 17th, which is the hearing
I understand.
for these proceedings.
I understand. Okay. Have a good night, everybody.
Are we done?
Yes.
We're done. Thank
This
you.
concludes today's video deposition of Amber Depp. The total number of media used.
I like how he just keeps calling her Amber Depp. Like, no looks given.
7:04 p.m.
The court reporter is like, dude, I don't have a dog in this fight. The court
Thanks again,
reporter is
everyone,
like,
for watching. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you want, you can like, subscribe, comment.
go like
hit
and
that
subscribe his
notification bell.
channel.
And
He's
until
so
next time,
awesome.
If there is a next time,
He provided
take
this
care.
entertainment for us. Oh my God. You guys, we did it. We fucking did it. 7 hours of Amber rambling. We did it. I don't know how. I don't know why. Well, I know why. I did this for you guys. Because it's fucking fun. If not for you all, I would have never watched it. I can tell you that right now. But for me doing this for you, and 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 yes, you in the back, and your doggo, and your kitty cat, I would have never touched this in a million years. This has been a journey with almost no destination, because we already know what the destination is, but it's the journey, not the destination, as everybody knows. So the journey has been beautiful. I wanted to thank you all for joining me today. And a lot of you I want to thank for joining me for the entire journey. since we started the depositions. And of course, this is only the beginning. Tomorrow, we have a special guest. And there's a non-verdict in the Masterson trial, as you all already heard. Deadlocked jury, mistrial declared. Oh, and I also got my hands on the Katie Meyer brief. Not brief, sorry, complaint. The girl that unlived herself and her family soon in Stanford. So, and we're going to have Amber's response to Johnny's brief on Monday. So thank you all for joining me. I love every single one of you, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.